A lot of the messages and comments I receive are people asking, is it possible to switch from a non-software sales, a non-technical background, and get into SaaS sales to become an SDR, a BDR, an account executive? The short answer is yes, it's absolutely possible. You can do it. Former bartenders, former folks in hospitality, former folks in car sales, oftentimes can make the best software sales rep. And in this video, I'm going to talk about exactly how you can go do that. Sales across all industries, whether you're doing financial sales, whether you're a realtor, whether you're in software sales, whether you're in medical or pharmaceutical device sales, people, prospects, customers want to buy a product that solves their needs from somebody they like at a price they can afford. And fundamentally, that's what sales is all about. So if you can do it in one industry, you absolutely can do it in another. A lot of people say, Trent, should I join this sales bootcamp in order to find a job? My answer is no. Don't do sales bootcamps. You can learn everything you need to know right here for free on the internet, particularly on this channel right here, because we're making sales videos each and every day. So make sure to subscribe now to the channel if you haven't already. And if you're interested in all things sales, go ahead and hit the like button now. An analogy I want to start off is, think about your favorite sports team, whether it be baseball, football, basketball, hockey, whatever it may be. You watch your team and you see certain players like a Ben Simmons and you say, wow, they have so much potential, but they just can't adapt. They just don't learn how to shoot. What are they doing in their offseason? Why aren't they learning how to shoot free throws? And it seems so simple to generalize Ben Simmons and say, due to his lack of adaptability, he's not a great fit for our team, therefore I'm not happy with him. Think about organizations as sports teams. Each year, your favorite sports team has new players on the team. Some players don't get re-signed, new players get re-signed, and it's all about trying to be the best team possible. Organizations like sales forces want the best sales team possible. The purpose of a sales team is to accelerate top-line revenue growth. So your ability to come in and help an organization make more money by generating sales is really important. And those sports teams who identify players that aren't going to help their team win, they don't want those players on their teams. So organizations are looking for people like you, despite background. How can you help that organization go make more money by going and doing sales? And if you're in a non-technical background, if you have never done sales, or perhaps you are doing sales in an industry that's not technology, you may be thinking, okay, Trent, all this sounds nice in theory. How do I actually get a sales job as an SDR, as a BDR, as an account executive at that tech company I want to work for? I'm someone who, and think about yourself too, it's really easy to look at other people's situations and give them advice and feel like you know exactly what to say that will help solve their problems. I'm someone who struggles with getting girls. I talk a lot about my lack of dating life on this channel, and I get so many comments, which I really do appreciate the dating advice from you guys because I need a lot of help, and they say, Trent, just like how you're building sales pipeline, build a female pipeline. Go talk to girls, get Hinge, go out, introduce yourself, and the more girls you talk to, the more girls you introduce yourself, the more girls that may reciprocate interest in you. And it's so easy for you, who is someone that's been successful in relationships, to give me that advice, and I say it, and I say, you know what, that makes sense, but I just don't know how to execute on it. I'm someone who comes from a sales background who was able to get a job as an SDR with no connections in the tech industry, no relevant internship experience, no connections, no experience, no nothing, no knowledge, and I was able to get a job. The reason I was able to get a job is simply by taking extreme action towards my goals, towards what I wanted. In college, I said my goal is to get a job in sales anywhere other than the state of Ohio. So I started looking for jobs in sales outside of Ohio. I got lucky and stumbled in technology, and next thing I knew, I found myself at a hyper-growth company. It was employee 1,500, now we're at 4,000 employees. I get stock options, we went public, and my income earning potential is way beyond whatever I thought I would be making at this age. So it's crazy for me to look back and say, I'm living a dream that I never knew I had, that so many other people, especially you, may be watching this, say, man, if I could just get in software sales and at age 25 be making 130 grand, my life would be made. And now I'm actually in that position, and now I look towards the future and say, okay, this is what I want to work towards, this is what I'm trying to accomplish. Long-winded answer to say, if you desire a job in the technology industry and you come from another sales background that's non-technical, or if you don't necessarily have technical or sales expertise, here's what you do. Figure out, what do you do well? What skills do you have? If you were to ask your top 3 friends or top 3 colleagues, associates, and they said, hey, Susie is really good at X, Y, Z, start to get an idea so that you can become more self-aware of what you're good at, and then also identify what you're not good at. Because in order to get what you want out of life, it's all about continuous evolution, adaptability, and self-growth. And when we talk about the sports team example, those players year over year who do not grow, who do not adapt, aren't suitable to be on the team anymore. So ask yourself, you as a professional candidate, are you someone you would even want to have on your team? And it starts by identifying, what do you do well, what do you not do well, and how does your experience align to your ability to help that organization generate more sales as a result of hiring you? Really think about that question and the answer to that. And if you can articulate that clearly, you then should feel fully confident then following the next set of steps. And if you don't feel quite confident, then I encourage you to pause the video, think about it, drop me a comment below. If you have questions, let me know. But what you got to do is figure that out, and then the next step is start taking extreme action towards what you want, towards your goals. So let's think about, how do you get hired at a company, especially in a job you want to? Start to identify, where do you want to live at? If you aren't held down, if you're not in a relationship, if you don't own a house, then you have mobility. Mobility is an asset, and that's one of the reasons why I tell people don't buy houses, because it limits your mobility whether you like it or not. Figure out where you want to live. Do you want to live in Austin, Texas? Do you want to live in Denver, Colorado? Do you want to live in Miami? Do you want to live in California? Do you want to live in the Midwest? Do you want to live in the Pacific Northwest? Whatever it may be. Pick where you want to live. Once you identify that geographic area, start looking at companies that interest you. Excuse me, I just ate dinner. I'm burping. Google companies or research companies, for example, CNBC top disruptor list, for example, top 50 most funded companies, VC backed. Get a list of companies that are growing, that have a lot of funding, that have high trajectory, and you can cherry pick that list and say, what companies from that list are in the area I want to work for? And you can put 2 and 2 together and say, okay, fast growing company, a lot of funding, hyper growth, sites that are going public. Okay, they need salespeople. They need people just like me to come in and work for their company. And after working in sales for 3 years, that's what I realized. These companies pay recruiters so that the recruiters can go find people with relevant expertise to come get hired. And you may be thinking, but Trent, I want to work for the company, but I don't have the expertise. So here's what you got to do. Start to identify the companies. And then what you got to do is reach out to those recruiters, apply online, and start to do whatever you got to do to get that initial phone screening. You're going to get on that phone screening, and in your preparation, you need to know everything you need to know about the company. If the company has public information, you got to go read it. You got to understand, what is the product they're selling? How do they make money? How do they go to market? What are they doing today? What's company news? That's table stakes. You need to know all that. But when you get on that initial screening and they say, hey, I noticed that you worked as a caddy at a golf club. You don't have any experience. Why are you a good fit for the SDR role? That's when that first step comes in. You need to really clearly think about how your skills will help that company make more sales. If you have that answer and you can say fully confidently, I want to work for your organization. If you give me the opportunity, I will grow within your organization and I will help you accomplish X, Y, Z. If you can articulate that, a recruiter is going to give you a chance and you're going to have the opportunity with a hiring manager. At that point, as you move through the interview process, it's all on you, and you got to figure out, how does your experience help you stand out? How are you qualified to go do it even though you don't have the experience you need? You can't worry about when it says bachelor's degree, when it says you need X, Y, Z years of experience. Don't worry about that, because when it comes down to it at the end of the day and you're speaking with another human, you have the ability to get them to do what you want. It's all about your ability to persuade and the perceived value you can deliver. And these organizations want to hire people that will immediately come in and start producing positive outcomes. They want to hire people that show potential and leadership potential to develop in their program. And most importantly, they want to hire people who are lifelong learners that are going to come in, adapt, and figure out what needs to be done to be successful. If you can do all of those things, and I know it's a lot of steps, but if you can follow those steps, if you can do that, you will find your dream sales job, and you will be able to go from a non-sales, non-technical background to your dream sales job. It worked for me, and you can absolutely do the same. So I hope this video helps give you motivation, not inspiration, or just some sort of connection to say, well, if what he's saying, that makes sense, I just need to go do it. So now it's all on you. My job here is done. The final part is to ask you to hit the like button below if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe to the channel for more sales videos. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.